Hi, I'm attorney Craig Kenny. I founded this law firm on May 22nd, 1995. Craig P. Kenny and Associates, a law firm committed to the client, a law firm that would always be there for any client who ever needed our help. I told everyone the same thing. I'm honest, sincere. I have a commitment to excellence. I'm going to do an amazing job for you. You're going to love me, and you're going to tell all your friends about me. Now, 15 and a half years later, we have this amazing building. We have this amazing law firm. In my experience, when you see an attorney, it usually works like this. The attorney says, "Hi, I'm the attorney." You say, "Hi, I have a problem." The attorney says, "Okay, what's the problem?" You tell the attorney what the problem is. After listening to your story, if the attorney can help you, he or she says, "Well, we can do this, this, or that." And if that's acceptable to you, you sign some stuff, or you give the attorney some money, and then you leave. And then you leave thinking, what the hell did I just sign? Should I trust that person? Does that person know what they're doing? Am I doing the right thing? Should I consult someone else? Or the attorney says, "Sorry, you don't have a case," or "I can't help you." And you say, "Okay, fine," and then you leave. And then you leave thinking, is that right? Do I really not have a case? Can the person really not help me? Should I get a second opinion? But the reality in my experience, when you leave the attorney's office, you leave knowing as much about the attorney as you did when you walked in, which is generally nothing, except that they're an attorney. Or at least you hope that they're an attorney, because in some law firms you meet the legal assistant thinking that they're the attorney when they're not. I went to law school for very personal reasons, and I decided a long time ago, before I talked to anybody about their case, I would tell you a little bit about who I am and what sort of experience I have, and that way you can become more of an informed consumer and either say, A, you're a good guy, you have enough experience, I'm going to listen to what you have to say about this, or B, you're a good guy, because I'm always a good guy, but you're not the one for me, and that's cool. Then I'll be happy to refer you to someone else. But I think it's important, while you're watching this, if you're considering hiring my law firm to represent you, I think it's important that you know a little bit about who we are and why we have a commitment to excellence, and that all starts with me. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I'm the fourth child of 7 of 2 immigrants who came to this country for a better life. My mother was born and raised in Germany, my father born in Canada. They got married in Germany in 1949 and came to Chicago for a better life, and they had 7 kids. Again, I'm number 4, and the youngest, I'm very proud to say, is my brother Bradley, who's also an attorney in this law firm. We grew up on the south side of Chicago. My mother, for 27 years, was a janitor in a Catholic high school near my house, scrubbing floors and windows and all that good stuff, and my father was a machinist for the railroad. I always tell people my parents do because 1, I'm proud of them, but 2, somebody asked me once a long time ago if they were attorneys, and I always thought that made sense. Your mom or your dad's an attorney, so you're an attorney. But you could tell my parents are not attorneys. And unfortunately, the only reason I'm an attorney is because my parents had 2 horrible experiences with attorneys. I have 2 older brothers. I had 2 older brothers. They were both killed in 2 separate personal injury accidents. My brother Michael, 3 years old, walking across the street in a crosswalk with my sister. Truck speeding, went through the stop sign, never saw either one of them. My sister jumped out of the way and my brother got hit. He died 45 minutes later. And 14 years later, when I was in 8th grade, my other brother was a sophomore in high school. He was the #1 student in his English class. And as a reward for being the best student in his English class, his English teacher took my brother, took the #1 student in the junior class and the #1 student in the senior class up for a joyride. He's a private pilot. And they rented him Cessna 172 at Midway Airport. And they got up in the air for about an hour, and then the plane malfunctioned. They came down, they slammed into a house in the suburb of Chicago, and all 4 of them were killed on impact. And my mom hired a lawyer. And the lawyer's attitude was basically, I'm the attorney, and you're a stupid immigrant, and you should stay home and shut up, and please don't call me, because 1, I'm too busy to call you, and 2, even if I did call you back, you wouldn't understand anything anyway. And it was at this point that I realized that my father had hired a lawyer when my brother Michael was killed, and that attorney was just as bad. Couldn't possibly imagine 2 of the hardest working, smartest people you could ever know, my parents, screaming at each other how stupid they were for hiring lawyers. My mother called my father an idiot, my father called my mother an idiot, and I would just cower under the covers. And I woke up one day in high school and decided someday I was going to be a lawyer, and someday I was going to be a better lawyer than the fools who represented my parents. I started off at a community college in Chicago because it was cheap and I lived at home and I didn't have to pay any rent and I couldn't afford to go anywhere else and my parents had no money to send me anywhere else. But I went there for 2 years, I got an associate's degree, and then the greatest thing ever happened to me, I got accepted to come to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I always loved Las Vegas, and when I found out there was a university here, this is where I was going. I have an undergraduate degree in communications. I have a master's degree in public administration from UNLV. For 14 years, I taught healthcare law in the healthcare administration program at UNLV, and I'm proud to say that my law degree is from Tulane University in New Orleans. I graduated from Tulane in 1991, immediately passed the bar examination here in Nevada, and got a job as a public defender for people injured at work at the trial level of their case. And for a little under 2 years, I was doing 20 to 50 trials a month for people injured at work. And then I got recruited to go work at the largest personal injury firm in Las Vegas, and I worked there for 2 years and a month before I gave a month's notice and decided I was going to open my own firm, which I did. Kenny and Associates. I opened this firm 15 and a half years ago. Again, just with the commitment to excellence. If you're considering hiring us, please call me, and I'll be happy to talk to you about your case. But I just want to let you know that we're honest, we're sincere, we have a commitment to excellence, and I appreciate your consideration.